So we thought, let's talk about G-Shock once again. And because the light is very good now, it's sunny, but we've got the clouds overhead, and they are providing this lovely diffused light all over the place. So I'm going to head back and pull out the G-Shock bad boys, because this weather is just too good, and hopefully I can say something that's half interesting. So that is the plan, and I shall I shall do that right now. Now, you guys are going to think I am crazy, but the reason that I'm shooting this video is because the light is so diffused, and it's probably perfect for the color saturation and videoing watches like this. And even though I've just done the ARC collection, and it was similar to this, because I was making a coffee, that's fresh cream. And you guys are probably going to be thinking, this guy drinks a lot of coffee. And I really don't. I only drink about 17 cups a day. So, that's not many. And because the lighting is so good, and because I'm a slave to the two people that watch these videos, and they keep asking for more videos like this, I thought to myself, I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to bow down to the pressure that I'm under to create these cool videos. So I thought to myself, let's talk a little bit about collecting, about G-Shock, and about if you are a collector, what a collecting strategy might be, or what you should be thinking about if you are collecting watches. Now, I'm not saying that I'm just checking the focus there. I mean that the lighting is fabulous. It should be really nice. And look at that. It's actually quite strong coffee. But what I do is I squeeze fresh cream on top. And this is a mug that I like. And so I thought to myself, why don't I pull out the big guns? And because the lighting is so good, make a coffee and come outside. So that's what I'm doing. I'm actually working, and I'm on the computer, but it's a really nice distraction to come out here. Okay, so what did I say? We're talking about watch collecting, G-Shock, and perhaps how you should take a view when buying a collection, because these things can be very expensive, and there is no point your desire for timepieces creating pain and trouble for a person. And I'm one of those people that thinks you maybe should get a third or a fourth job, and a fourth or a fifth credit card, to be able to buy these things. Especially a frog like this. You've just basically got to get your hands on the thing. It will make your life better. You are going to be more successful and achieve all your goals in life if you pull the plug and wear a thing like a G-Shock on your wrist. Because imagine walking into a meeting with that, or going to the boozer with your friends. What are they going to think? They're going to think, this person just rocks. He's wearing a great big piece of machinery around his wrist, and it's got the letters MRG in gold on the dial. Once again, look at that. Only Casio G-Shock could put MRG in gold on the dial of such a military, mechanical tank watch. Only Casio could do that. It is quite cool. And I keep looking at this thinking, oh no, I need the yellow one. I really do. I don't know why, because I had the yellow one in my hand. And I don't know why at the time I didn't think to myself, gosh, I need the yellow one because it's going to match this one perfectly. because the titanium bracelet on the yellow one is going to fit on here perfectly, and the gold of the MRG is the same color as the buckle lock button on the yellow one. And I keep thinking about that, and it keeps on ruining my day. I'm having all sorts of trouble coming to terms with the fact that thing has sold out. Anyway, but at least I've got one of the frogs, perhaps the coolest one. And I know, so what I've done here actually is I've got the black beasts at the top, the silver colourway in the middle, and the gold ones below. And I've thought to myself, these are roughly in chronological order, because in 1918 the full metal silver, the porter and the gold were released. This was their 35th square anniversary full metal release. And a short time after, the gold with the black display and the MRGs were released. I think this was released and then the MRGs. And then sometime after that, actually, this one was probably released around the time that this one was released. Then the cornflakes were released. And then just recently, the 50th Casio anniversary have released the Captain America in this colourway. And over here, we've got the Casio 50th anniversary release here, the Captain America there. And I still, I'm choking on my words, because I don't remember if that was an anniversary or just a special release of the Casiotron. Because, I mean, this was last year, so this is, no, that is 50 years, yes. That is the 50 years of Casiotron. This is the 50 years of Casio. That's it, sorry. I think I spoke about that earlier, and I couldn't remember the origin detail of this. But I suppose this is the forerunner, the birth of Casio G-Shock, because this was, I think, released in 1973, and 10 years later the G-Shock Square was released. Casio let Kiku Ibe go through the R&D. I think it was for several years before the release in 1983. So this really is the predecessor to the Square, in my opinion. Now, if I'm wrong, please let me know, but I don't think I am. This is the 1970s digital C-Tron that was that birthed the approach to wristwatches and birthed the Casio G-Shock Square. It's kind of cool. Actually, when I put that on like that, I think to myself, it is cool. And then I look over to the Captain America, and I think that the colour proportions are perfect compared to the colour proportions on the Captain America. When you have these two together like this, the blue on the Captain America looks a little too big. I mean, take that away, it doesn't look at, you don't notice that. When you pull in the C-Tron, yeah, that's when you think the proportions of the colourway are much better on the C-Tron. So anyway, there is something very pleasant about these watches, and I don't really know what it is. It provides an idiot like me with a lot of pleasure, and gives me an interest in something other than myself. So that's a good thing. And actually, whilst I'm over on the right hand side, because the right hand side contains the oddies, so if you don't look at those, we've just got hardcore G-Shock here, and MRG. But if I cover all of those up, we're just left with the hardcore squares. Then we pull in the MRG frog, and then we pull in the C-Tron and the Omegas. And I like having the Omegas in this collection because it reminds me of mechanical watches, because I am a mechanical watch fan, and in the past I've probably had more mechanical watches, believe it or not. But these days I hopefully have matured, And I seem to have regressed back to squares and digital watches, which is bizarre. But I think it's G-Shock's full metal thing that really pulled me back over to the G-Shock stuff. And the technology involved, the high accuracy, because it synchronizes via Bluetooth, and if it doesn't have a Bluetooth connection, it'll use multiband 6. Plus it's quartz anyway, so it's going to be accurate anyway. Now, it doesn't mean that these mechanicals aren't that accurate, because they're all chronometers. And they're coaxial. So where these digital watches are going to be a fraction of a second per day out, the chronometer omegas here, we're looking at between +1 and +5 seconds a day out. So anything below +10 seconds is pretty accurate, really, because even after a week, you're only a minute fast anyway. And actually, that is an unusual thing. I don't like the watch going slow, because if the watch is running fast and it's not magnetized or anything, over time it will slow down naturally anyway. So that's sort of why I like watches being just slightly fast, not negative. And please correct me if I've got my facts and details wrong there. But these are, they do feel different. They feel, like mechanical machinery, and I think they fit in the collection quite well. But other people might think, no, they don't, because actually I can't imagine people thinking that. But I do like them there. I'm just going to take a drink of coffee. Hold on. I thought you guys don't want to hear me slurping coffee. And look at the weather here. Let me just show you the weather. And, it's lovely. If I could have the weather like this the whole time, I think I would like it. The diffused light is perfect for shooting crazy videos. Okay, let's get on to watch collecting. Now, I recently did a video and in the car driving from the UK to the south of France, and I think I touched on collecting watches and perhaps what is a good approach. Now, I joke around saying you should get in yourself into debt to get the watch that you want, and sometimes when I'm in that mood, I really think that as well. But on the whole, I don't think you do want to get yourself into debt at all, because these things are expensive, and I've met people that blow an awful lot more money on more expensive watches, and they have a few. So they are paying more than the price of a motor car. In fact, several motor cars on their watches. And I do hear these horror stories where people have put expensive watches, expensive Rolexes on credit cards, and a few months in, they've realised that they've bitten off more than they can chew, and they don't really have enough disposable income, and then they have to go back to the grey market and sell their Rolex so that they can pay a mortgage payment or a car payment. So I don't actually think that anyone should get themselves into financial difficulty like that, because it really isn't worth it. At the end of the day, these are emotional things that you wrap around your wrist, that they don't really add much to your life. Well, it depends who you are. These add everything to my life. This is my identity. But okay, discounting me, I don't think you should get yourself into debt. I don't think anyone should get into debt buying. It's not worth it. Now, the reason that I say that and I qualify that is if you actually save up for one of these, they are the process of saving and then buying the thing with saved up money makes you appreciate the watch far more. And also, during the process of saving, you're likely to work out whether or not you actually still want the watch. Now, if it takes you a few months to save up for a watch, I can guarantee the likelihood that you might change your mind is about 50%. Now, After months of saving and you still want that particular watch, and a few months have gone by and you're almost completed the saving, and you still want the watch, that's when you definitely should get the watch, because it is going to make you happy. And because you've saved up for it, all the value will be in that process of saving up and then obtaining the watch. So this is the way to do it. Even if it's a cheaper watch, even if the watch is a few £100s, you might think to yourself, oh, I'm going to put that on my credit card. And what I'm saying is, don't even do that. Simply put away £20, £50, £100 a month, whatever it is, and simply wait until you've saved up for, a cheaper watch. Because the same rules apply. The process of saving makes you really think hard about the watch that you intend to buy. And there's also a very good chance that you're going to change your mind. So that the process again is going to make you feel great, because if you've been saving for a Rolex and you're halfway through, and you've been surfing the internet for all sorts of other watches, and and your mind changes from a Rolex Pepsi to a standard Submariner or a Sea Dweller, imagine how much money you've actually saved, because you haven't bought the Pepsi or the GMT. You've decided, 6 months in, you've thought, I don't want the GMT now, I just want a Submariner. You will have saved yourself a lot of pain and a lot of worry. So this is why, in actual fact, I'm a big advocate of saving up for watches and not putting them on a credit card. Says he who has put watches on credit card before. So I'm not saying that, I'm whiter than white, and being a bloke and knowing what people are like, even though in theory you've thought about saving and you intend to save, etc., but the opportunity comes along for you to put something on a credit card, I understand that you might do that, and that is totally fine, because you might be able to afford it, and then it's okay. But on the whole, you really do want to save up for wristwatches. It really is an acid. The process itself, is an acid test. I'm just going to finish this coffee. Hold on. So getting the watch that you want, saving up for it, is definitely the thing to do. I know it might be painful. And also, if you do have a watch collection and you're not wearing a watch anymore, and you think, you really have grown away from that watch, perhaps sell that as well, because, once you've sold that and you've receipted the money, and that goes into your watch buying fund, it is really going to make you feel so much better. And it's actually going to, the process itself is the acid test for obtaining, the right watch that you really want. So even though I joke around and I say, get a third and fourth job and, get more credit cards, I actually think if you can save up for whatever watch it is, even cheaper watches, I think that is the way to do it. And you will really appreciate the watch much, much more, rather than quickly obtaining a watch like a Rolex and then a few months in, having to sell it or wanting to sell it because it just feels too expensive. So there you go. It's really just a quick chat, and the lighting is so good. And I will just turn the camera around. It's actually really hot here as well. And even though I've just consumed coffee, it's only 17th cup today, it's not very many. What an idiot I am. But the heat is getting to me. I'm going to have to say ciao for now. And I've got a few things to chat about, and hopefully I will remember. And hopefully this heat isn't going to be too hot for someone like me. Anyway, I do hope everyone is well, and hopefully I'll be back again soon.